Well, thanks so much for joining us. We're on the last of our coffee chats. You're our last creator. If you've just joined us for the ride, I'm Maisie. I'm from the EU Amazon influencer team, and I'm going to be your host for this next 30 minutes. So what we've been doing, Cassandra, for the last an hour we've been here, we've been learning a lot of amazing tips. We've had successful US influencers coming to share their tips, tricks, and strategies for Prime Day so that our wonderful EU creators can learn a lot from you guys about how to maximize earnings for the upcoming event. It's less than 2 weeks to go. So the first 10 minutes, I've got some general questions for you about Prime Day content.
Okay.
And then as we discussed on Friday, we're going to spend like 20 minutes talking about questions that we got from our influencers in advance. So I hope that's okay. And so I will give you a mini intro, although you need no introduction. So this is Cassandra. She's known as What I Shopped on her socials. You've got over 200,000 social media followers. I'm sure all of us being part of that gang. So you're a master of finding things you never knew you needed. And you've become a top performing member of our US Amazon influencer program. So we're super privileged to have you here today and to learn from you. So thanks so much for joining.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I like that we're matching in blue too.
I know. Usually I'm working from home in sweats and a jumper. So I was like, oh man, I just throw on a shirt.
Gotta put the makeup on, gotta get dressed up. I know.
Never usually like this. Perfect. Well, as we spoke about before, you have been part of the Amazon influencer program for, I think it was 5 years, you said, right? So maybe you can give us just a little bit of a spiel about your journey with the program so far and how you found it all.
Sure. Let me give a little background into my account for those who aren't familiar. I started What I Shopped almost 6 years ago. I was working in corporate America, and it was just a place to share random things I was buying with my friends. How it started was I purchased a condo in the city of Chicago, and my friends were asking me in real life, like, where did you buy this? Like, where is this from? And I'm like, you know, you guys, I'm just going to have one space. And I created this Instagram account where everyone could just find the stuff I'm buying. Never did I think this was going to be a thing. I never thought I was going to be an influencer. 90% of the stuff I was sharing was Amazon. And at the time, Amazon didn't have a influencer program. There was an associates program where you could get affiliate, which I joined probably 6-7 months after I started my account. So the core of What I Shopped is literally just sharing random things that I'm buying. As the account has grown, I share sales and deals and whatnot, but really the basis and the fundamentals of What I Shopped has been just sharing with my friends, and now my social friends, which are my followers, the random things that I'm finding and buying, and Amazon's part of that. My journey with Amazon has been from the get-go. I actually was one of the first to join the influencer team, the influencer program, I should say. I was in the beta testing way back in 4 years ago, I think is when I started it. So I've been there from the beginning, and Prime Day has definitely been huge. And now all the other sales that go on throughout the year I share. But yeah, I guess I give a little background into what the account is. And I don't know if I really went into the journey of Amazon, but I think we're kind of going to get into that with the next couple of questions.
Yeah, exactly. It's super cool. You're an OG Amazon influencer.
Cool. And actually, I should say this, Maisie, like when I first started sharing just Amazon, it was a category that not a lot of people were tapping into. Also, 5 years ago, the fashion availability on Amazon was slim. So there was a lot of gadgets and home stuff, which is what I was sharing for my condo. I bought tons of books. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but Amazon started, it was just a website for books that could be sent to your house. And so when I first started sharing fashion, people were like, oh my gosh, you can buy that on Amazon and get it in 2 days. And now, of course, it's, grown leaps and bounds, and everyone shares Amazon. But at the time, it was a nuance that not a lot of influencers were tapping into.
Wow, that's super cool. Amazing to see kind of the growth of the program since that time. And now, yes, we do have good fashion stuff. We've come a long way.
Hi, so I'm wearing my dress right now. This is
I saw it on your stories. You're posting some great stuff earlier. So yeah, everyone check that out afterwards. Okay, so while we're talking about the history of it, as you said, you've done many a Prime Day, seen them through. Can you tell me a little bit more about your personal experience with these events, as an Amazon creator? How do you find how have they evolved over time?
I would say, because there's multiple sales throughout the year. There's 3 major sales now, right? There's Prime Day, which is the big one. And then October, there's like I don't know, we call it like this, I call this second Prime Day. And then we just did a spring one. So I think at this point, I've kind of gotten used to how to organize and how to focus. And like I said, back in the day when I was one of the only people sharing Prime Day, only people was an Amazon influencer. I don't think there was a lot of competition, but there wasn't a lot of people sharing it. Now the strategy has to be different because everyone is sharing Prime Day. Everybody, anywhere from the influencers similar to you to like news outlets, the Today Show, like all the publishers all get in on it too. So there is a lot of what I would say competition as far as who your followers can go to for Prime Day deals. So my tip is number one, do not get overwhelmed. There is so many things on sale. And I'm one of those people, if you have a to-do list and there's so much on it, I get what I see is like paralyzed. Like I can't move, I can't do anything. Don't get that way with Prime Day. Stick to your tried and true products of what you share on a regular basis that you know your audience is going to shop for. And I would say like have blinders. Don't look to see what anyone else is sharing. Just look to see what you know that your followers are going to resonate with your followers. And that will help you not get overwhelmed and not know where to turn, what to share. Streamline it into what you know sells, what your tried and true products are, and then maybe a couple of items that are hot ticket items that year as well.
No, perfect. No, thanks so much. And while we're talking about it, let's maybe like dive a little bit more into those products that you want to promote over Prime Day. So you said you kind of need to know your audience, right? Like in advance, like what do you know is going to convert? And then is there anything else you're doing in advance? Like, are you looking at like trends? Like, are you thinking about like upcoming events? Like, how are you also getting some of those like maybe newer items that your followers don't shop on an everyday basis?
Yeah, so first, let's go back before we go to the new items. How do you know what your audience is shopping for? Twofold. Now, I've been doing this long enough. I know what people are buying on Prime Day, and I know what my audience is buying just in general. If you are newer to the Prime Day, my recommendation, and I still do this, is do a question box. Make this easy for you. I would say do it 2 days before Prime Day. Prime Day is on a Tuesday. Do it on a Sunday. Put a question box on your Instagram story saying, what are you shopping for? One, that helps you be able to organize what you're sharing. If people are shopping for vacuums or dresses or electronics, whatever's on that list, it helps you curate what you need to focus on. Two, it helps with engagement because the more your audience engages with your stories, the more likely you're going to be the first to pop up for them to see your content versus anybody else. So I always like to do engagement tactics leading up like that, but also this helps with organizing what you're going to share. Secondly, like I said, I know what my audience shops for every year. What are some tried and true products? One example I always say is there's a brand called CRZ Yoga. My followers love CRZ Yoga. They are never on sale. The only sales they use are Prime Day and maybe a couple of sales throughout the year. So when those are on sale, I know my audience are going to shop it. As far as hot ticket items, it's something that you just have to have a pulse on what is in the marketplace or what has gone viral. And one example I will give is, and I don't know if this is big in Europe yet, but there's this ice cream machine, this Ninja iCreamy.
The creamy.
Yes, that everyone is sharing on TikTok, that everyone's sharing on Reels. That is going to be part of Prime Day. And it was on sale, I forgot when, like a couple of weeks ago. And I mean, it wasn't even that heavily discounted. We're talking like 9 or 10% off, and everyone bought it. So, and now you see all these videos and everyone wants to get on it. It's like the new air fryer. When air fryers first started, everybody wanted to buy an air fryer. So know those items that are viral that resonate with your audience. Now, not every viral item is going to resonate with your audience. Like maybe you don't share beauty products, but there's this beauty dupe that has gone viral that is on sale on Prime Day. And that might make sense for you. Maybe it doesn't. But know those viral products that are going to be on sale and share those, like the iCreamy or any little gadgets like that.
No, perfect. I guess it's all about staying like true to your audience, like kind of throughout whatever products you're thinking of sharing. Just make sure that you know the audience are gonna love those versus going completely left field on the day.
Right. Like if you never share anything workout related, I wouldn't share the leggings. Like if it doesn't resonate with your audience, and don't just throw that out of the blue because they're going to be like, what? And they're not going to shop it. But some of the viral items like that are out there, people will definitely shop.
No, for sure. Okay, perfect. And then maybe we can take like a couple of steps back. So we talked about products that you like to share. Like, what are you doing in advance of Prime Day? Like, how do you best prepare yourself? And how far in advance do you start kind of socializing the idea of Prime Day with your audience? Like you mentioned about the question box, is that the first thing you'll do? Is the Sunday before the first thing you're going to mention Prime Day?
I would say start talking about Prime Day now. The biggest thing is with these sales is you want your audience to know that they should come to you when they're shopping this sale. I'll give an example of other sales too. Like, let's say like here, the Nordstrom sale is really big. I don't cover Nordstrom sale, but I know influencers that do cover the sale. And I'm like, the Nordstrom sale comes up, I'm going to them to know what's on sale. You want your audience to come to you because they're like, I'm overwhelmed with Prime Day. I don't know how to shop it, but I'm coming to What I Shop because I know every year she shares the best sales and digs and does all the work for us. So in order to do that, one, start now. If they announce the dates. So when they announced the dates, that was the first thing I shared. But I have to say, you have to like tiptoe on that line of not oversaturating it. You don't want to share it so much that your audience is like, I'm sick of hearing about Prime Day, you know? So spread it out. Don't share it every single day, but I would at least today be like, I looked over the sales because we do get a list ahead of time. It's fine to tell your followers that you know what's going to be on sale, because then they also know that you are the expert. Like, you know what's going to be on sale and you're going to share the good things. So you want to start just saying, I already know what's going on sale. I'm starting my list. We're going to talk about this later on. Start early. Then days leading up. So again, it's on a Tuesday, maybe the Tuesday prior, which would be that next week, say like, or this week, actually, I would say like the week before, be like leading up, Prime Day is coming up, make sure mark your calendar, whatnot. The weekend leading up is when you want to talk about it almost every day, but again, not nonstop. Another thing that I do is 24 hours before Prime Day is a countdown to Prime Day on my account. And then people can click on that. You guys know that countdown that's on Instagram. It's one of the tools that's on your stories. I will do that because, again, it helps with engagement, and then it helps people know that like Prime Day is in 2 days. So you want to do that leading up to it as well. As far as organizing, well, I would say that's one of my tips. Stay organized ahead of time. I have already started collages and lists ahead of time because Prime Day is definitely the biggest day, but I have a lot going on between now and Prime Day. So I don't want to get totally overwhelmed where it's like the day before. And I found this myself, like the day before, you're like cramming for an exam, trying to get it all done. Start now, start going through it, start pulling your best sellers even, and seeing if those are on sale, because you can pull that on your influencer hub and see what best sellers are this month. So stay organized. Another thing I had mentioned, Maisie, and I talked about was I create lists ahead of time on my storefront. Now, you can't label these lists as Prime Day deals, but you can label it as something else, and you know that's your list of Prime Day, where Prime Day is going to be. And then when Prime Day goes live, you just switch over whatever the caption you created it as, and say like Prime Day home, Prime Day sales, whatever it is. I'm also going to start this weekend creating videos and putting them on my storefront that are Prime Day products. So I don't think it's too early to start now. And again, it just helps you not get overwhelmed the days leading up or the day of Prime Day.
No, for sure. And so then for your storefront, like maybe let's dive into that then. So your storefront, you're already starting prepping. So how do you utilize all those different kind of like content types? So you've got lists, photos, videos. Like, are you using videos to go a bit more in depth on specific products? Like, do you use shoppable photos? And how are you creating those lists?
So the lists to me are super important because one, it helps you stay organized. And like I said, how it can get so overwhelming. If you have a list of 200 products that you start now, you can just refer back to your list instead of having to dig through the Prime Day landing page. And that way you have it organized on your own site. So use that as a tool for yourself. Another thing with these lists that I always bring up is that, you know, there are so many other influencers sharing Prime Day. And yes, you want to share those viral items, the ones big ticket that you know people are going to shop, but you also want to share the stuff that no one else is sharing. Now there's going to be the landing page. It's going to have all the big things that are on Prime Day, but some items, like let's say this dress is a good example. This dress has been a bestseller of mine the last 3 weeks. If this dress is on sale for Prime Day, I will be sharing it, even if it's on the landing page, and my followers will buy it because it's been a bestseller. Maybe they'll buy it in a different color. So do share things that are true to you, because at the end of the day, why is your follower coming into your account versus Maisie's or somebody else's? Like, what are you sharing that's different? And if everyone else is just sharing the big electronics, the gadgets, the whatnot, everyone else is sharing that, you want people to come to your account for something different. So that helps with the list, number one. Number two, I also in my stories will say, I'm updating these lists, so keep referring back to it. And that way your audience clicks straight to your storefront and goes to your list and drives there, and they could peruse it themselves as well. So it also helps as a tactic for clicks and for people then to go on your list. And I have about 4. I normally organize mine as like home, fashion, beauty, kids, and then maybe like Amazon products like Kindles and whatnot. So, and then I have like, you could even do a curation where you have a landing page that everything is on that curation, which is what I'm going to start working on. And that way everyone can go to that landing page and shop all of your finds.
That's amazing tips. So right now you're just doing kind of the prep work to get your curation live for Prime Day.
Yes, definitely. And what was the question about the videos? So yes, I do videos too ahead of time. My other thing with the storefront is you have to look at your storefront also as a separate entity to your social platform. So I have my social platform, and obviously majority of my revenue and sales come from my Instagram and what I drive to Amazon. But there is a secondary revenue stream of just having content on your storefront. So creating content in your storefront also helps you, because anyone who doesn't follow you but is on Amazon can stumble onto your storefront and shop your items. Also with the videos and even collages, like let's say I did a video on this dress. When you click on this seller's dress on Amazon, potentially your video could be underneath that dress. If someone clicks on that video and purchases it, you get credit. So it helps you to have a lot of content on your storefront, especially around Prime Day when people are going to be shopping those specific sales.
No, for sure. So for our EU audience, like what Cassandra was talking about is those videos on the detail page. So those we hope to come later in the year. They're not live yet, but we know those are a super cool feature. And I think something else that you didn't mention, Cassandra, is also we have the Creator Ads program worldwide, right? Where like any content uploaded to your storefront also populates our social ads. So again, that's kind of like another hands off the wheel, like revenue stream, right? Anything you upload to your storefront can just be monetized offsite.
Definitely.
So I think, like you said, treating it like a separate entity is a really great way to think about it, right? You've got to maintain your socials and you've got to maintain your storefront for Prime Day.
Well, yeah, and also with the storefront with me, and it's hard to keep up with like daily deals. So I don't work, and like, let's say take away Prime Day. I share daily deals and coupons every day. Now, I don't keep those up to date on my storefront because that's like a 24-hour sale. But anything else I share, try-ons, collages, lists, I leave on my storefront, and I have that in the link in my bio. So when my audience is looking for anything Amazon related, they can go to my storefront and it's all there. I try to keep it as organized as possible. It's not always like that, but they know that everything is housed there. So outside even of Prime Day, it's good to have a space for all of your Amazon content where your followers know that they can find anything you've shared. I can't keep up with DMs. Like I get thousands of DMs a day and I try my hardest. But if it's a question of like, hey, you shared these sandals last week, well, those are on my Amazon storefront. So I try my hardest to keep everything in one landing page so it's easy to shop.
No, I think that's a really good tip, right? Because it's then like your audience know exactly where to go if they want to find something. That behavior is like ingrained. And like you said, if everyone's DMing you, it's really not possible. But if all of your kind of like call to action is like actually check out my storefront, then you're going to be driving that conversion, right? Because they know exactly where to go versus getting a bit lost on all the platforms. So I think that's a really good tip for our audience to kind of stay organized. And really like focus on kind of like training your audience that actually like if they love those socks, well, guess what? They're going to be on the storefront and keeping that storefront up to date. So
and you could pin certain things. So if there's either like, again, like this dress, let's say this has been a bestseller, I've sold so many of them, I will pin it on my storefront so it's easy to access because it's the first post that's up there. Or like your Prime Day post, when it goes live, you could pin that on the top. So when anyone comes to your storefront, those are the first things they see. It's easy to shop. So like bestsellers are great. Or if you get like tons of DMs about a certain thing, another gadget I just thought about that I sell a lot of, it's this thing called a stitch gun. If you think of like, I don't know if you've seen this, Maisie, I don't know if these are big by you guys yet, but like if you buy a dress or whatever, and the tag has that little plastic like string. Well, there's this new device that has these tiny, tiny little, like what those strings are. And it's the gun they use for tags in a store, but it will like, instead of using a safety pin, you pin it here and it will stick. So like if you're girls, if you're wearing like dresses to events and you want it to like stay up or, whatnot, you click in with this gun. So it's been a really good bestseller. So that's something that I have like pinned on my storefront. But also, if that gun is like marked down for Prime Day, I will share it because everyone's been loving this device. It's been great.
No, I think that's super. I don't, that's one thing I don't have. But I think it's cool. It's really like you are a true example of knowing your audience, right? Like, they're going to love that. And so when that pops up, you're going to have it.
Have you seen those? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. Well, I've heard of it, but I don't have one. So I'm going to do some research and I add to my wish list.
It is such a game changer when it comes to clothing, especially if you go to like a wedding or you go like a dress that's lower. I've even like pinned it to my bra so that like your bra strap doesn't show. Like it's great.
Now all our EU audience is going to be sharing this. It's going to be great. We'll have to follow up with a really good.
I'm telling you, it's such a fun device and it's great for like events and stuff.
Yeah, that's perfect. And so you are super organized. You're already starting working on Prime Day now. Can you walk us through like those 48 hours of Prime Day for you? Like, how does it go? Like, what is kind of your strategy across your socials, like your storefront? Like, how is that 48 hours for you?
So I'm going to sound crazy, but I get up at 3:00 in the morning and I've been doing this since I started Prime Day. The reason I first started getting up, because the sale, and I think it starts 3:00. Yeah. I started doing the 3:00 wake up because when I had a full-time job, I would work from like 3 to 8 in the morning doing Prime Day. Wow. And then I would work till lunchtime, take an hour, do more Prime Day sales, and then work in the afternoon. Later on, I started taking time off of work to share Prime Day because it's like literally the majority of like my money for the year, my revenue comes from this month. But now I do it because you want your stories to be the first that pop up that morning. And again, it's so competitive now with Prime Day. Every influencer who has never talked about Amazon for 363 days out of the year, but then Prime Day comes and all of a sudden they're sharing all the Prime Day deals. So you want your stories to be the first, and you also want your finds to be the first. I mean, this is my strategy. Not everybody does this, but I get up at 3:00 and I start sharing right away. And that way, when people get up, my stories are like front and center. So the 48 hours is a little chaotic. So yeah, so I start early. I have my items that I know are going to be on sale that I share first, and I prioritize it into either things that are going to sell out or items that are a short sale. Because sometimes there'll be lightning deals that are a really good item but are short. So I prioritize what I'm sharing based on time. An example of things that will sell out for me that are big, like for instance, Laneige is this like lip gloss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love Laneige. And it always sells really well when it's on sale. So like last Prime Day, it was on sale and I haven't checked if it's gonna be on sale this year. So that was one of the first things I shared. Because right off the gate, I'm like, this is such a hot ticket item. So many people are gonna buy this. And when I say sell out, it's not like the whole thing's going to sell out, but like maybe like the raspberry scent sells out first or whatnot. So those are things that I like prioritize what I'm going to share first. Then throughout the day, I will peruse because I normally don't, I try to organize as much as possible and I share ahead of time. All right. I have my list that I'm sharing. But then there are times throughout the day that I'm like, all right, let me peruse the Prime Day like landing page because sometimes things pop up that you're not aware of. and then I'll find some gems on there to share. The other thing I just say about this is you don't want your content to get monotonous. So don't just, now for me, example, I will share a stock image. Like that's one thing my followers like, I'll share just one image of this water bottle on Amazon with a click, and I'll be like, it's 50% off, it's $8 today. That my audience does really well with single items, but you don't want to just oversaturate with one type of content because people get bored. So I try to mix in that with video. So like actual video, like using the product that again, you can batch ahead of time. And then sometimes collages. So like the collages to me would be more like, here are all the Amazon Kindles that are on sale, or like, here's some beauty products that are on sale, whatnot. But for my audience specifically, they like single items that like you click on and go direct to. But my other tip is to make sure your content is a little diverse so people don't get bored with what you're sharing. That's day one. Day two, I still get up early. And what I focus on day two then is I do another question box and say, like, what have you not purchased yet? Like, what are you still looking for? And again, that will help you focus in like, oh, like people are looking for floor mops or whatever. Like, okay, let me go shop for floor mops that are going to be on sale. So I start off the morning with what are you shopping with? And then I also do best sellers from the day before. It sounds bizarre, but people like to see what other people are shopping. So I've actually started a list on best sellers. Like these are the things that sold really well yesterday. And I'll do a list on that. And people like to see what everyone else is shopping also. You like to know what other people are buying too.
Yeah.
That does really well also for day two. Because day two, I have found is a lot of the same sales as the day before. So you don't want to keep resharing the same things, but share the best sellers or things that you're like, you guys, this is on sale. If you haven't gone this yet, this would be the time. We have like 10 hours left to grab it. Another engagement tactic I want to share is that I try to do little giveaways on stories in that 48 window to give away gift cards to Amazon for people to shop. And it's a way to get my audience to keep coming back to my stories the second day. So it's like day two, I'm going to be giving away like 10, 15, whatever it is. You can even do like two, like $15, $20 Amazon gift cards. And that way your audience will keep coming back to your stories and it helps engagement. And also you're giving them something little to help them shop.
No, I really like that idea, especially it kind of like for Prime Day as well. Like, wow, so they're going to purchase a gift card for Amazon is perfect. And then with the best sellers, how do you know like what is bestseller? Are you looking at the Prime Day page on Amazon and looking like what's at the top, or
no, what you personally sell? And I mean, I don't have the time to dig through what my sales are for the day before. So what I go off of is story clicks.
Okay.
So like you can look at your from the day before, even before 24 hours, and you'll see like if 1,000 people clicked on this water bottle, then I can assume, not knowing how many sales I got, but this was a bestseller without having to actually pull your analytics from the day before. So stuff like that is how I can curate what some of the best sellers were. And I'd say bestsellers for you, not just for any Amazon audience.
No, I think that's perfect. And then it keeps it unique to your audience, right?
Definitely.
Instead of just like, yeah, sharing maybe
and some of the stuff might even shock you where you're like, oh, I think everyone's going to buy the lip gloss, but then they buy random bath towels. And you're like, okay, well, everyone bought these bath towels yesterday. So here they are again.
No, it's a really good tip. I like that. Okay, we have 3 minutes left. I just wanted to capture, in case you have any other tips for our EU creators, how they can maximize revenue. If you think there's anything you've left off so far, now is the time to share any of your final tips.
I would say just have fun with it. Don't stress out because like I said, it can be extremely overwhelming. I find so much joy in finding things on sale, especially things that I share all the time. So it's like a dress that's never marked down and then it's marked down for Prime Day. Like I'm like, oh my God, I have to share this. Like it gets exciting. So have fun with it. Make sure to still engage your audience and don't just feel like you're throwing all these sales at them. Hop on in the middle of the day and be like, how's everyone's day going? Like, hope you're buying some fun stuff. Like still be human about it and not just make them think that you're just sharing sale. And like I said, do some engagement tactics to make it fun for your audience to come back.
No, I really love that. I think that it's really similar to Amazon. It's like we put the customer first, and it sounds like for you, you're putting your audience first, right? You're making sure you're giving them exactly what they want to see. They have a reason to come back, and you're even surprising and delighting them with gift cards. So I can't wait to be shopping your content over Prime Day.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
No, it's gonna be good. Okay, well, with that, maybe we can wrap up a little because we started a little early. But Cassandra, I want to say a huge thank you to you. You provided some amazing insights for our team, for our EU creators that I know are gonna really help them over Prime Day. So a big thank you for that. We've now reached the end of the webinar. So thank you everyone for sitting through 90 minutes of Alan and I talking. And thank you for all of our wonderful creators that joined us over those 90 minutes. We hope you've learned something, some new things. We hope you've kind of found it inspiring and you've got excited for Prime Day. As a reminder, it's coming up. It's on the 16th and 17th of July. And yeah, if you are able to, please leave us some feedback in the link in the chat so we can improve these series going forward. But we've really enjoyed having you here and hosting you, and we hope you've enjoyed it too. And again, thank you, Cassandra, for joining us.
Thank you.
Especially on this morning for you. And yeah, we look forward to shopping your content and looking at all of your amazing Prime Day finds. Thanks again.
Thank you.